Hey guys, Noel here, and it is Wednesday. We got a day off of school. It's the day before Thanksgiving, so I thought it would be fun to do a video game review for the video game section of the YouTube channel. These relax me, they're fun to do, and you seem to enjoy them, so let's do another one. Today, we are going to be reviewing one of my favorite Sega Saturn games, the game I had when I was growing up, and a game that I associate with the Thanksgiving Day Parade, because my favorite balloon in the Thanksgiving Day Parade is the one and only Sonic the Hedgehog. So today, what we're going to be doing is reviewing Sonic's debut game for the Sega Saturn, quite possibly my favorite Sega console. We are going to be reviewing Sonic 3D Blast, a game that came out instead of Sonic X Treme, which was in development for the Sega Saturn as well as the Sega 32X, and that never came to fruition. So what Sega did was they ported over Sonic 3D Blast from the Sega Genesis to the Sega Saturn and released a Sega Genesis version and a Sega Saturn version of Sonic 3D Blast, because once again, Sonic X Treme never actually made it to be a video game. It instead became a Walkman and book by Troll for elementary school kids. Anyway, Sonic X Treme for the Sega Saturn came out in 1996, and then due to Sonic's being more popular in the United States than he was in Japan, although he was still popular in Japan, it took a few years for this game to actually come out in Japan, and it came out as Sonic 3D Flicky's Island in Japan, and featured some cool kind of graffiti art stylizing of Sonic on the box and the flickies. So you had kind of like a middle ground between this Sonic and the Sega Dreamcast Sonic for the box art for the Japanese version of this game for the Sega Saturn. Let's take a look at this game and play some of this game right now. Right now we've got the demo of this game playing. Hit the lights. Give you a taste of some of the gameplay here. Now, unlike the Sega Genesis version of this game, these levels are a lot more detailed with a lot more atmospheric effects. And when I say atmospheric effects, I mean literally weather detail, and also a CD soundtrack is present in this game. You can pop this game into your CD player and listen to the very nice soundtrack to it. This game also features a special stage made by Sonic Team, who was busy making Nights into Dreams. I was always puzzled by the fact that Sonic Team did not work directly on this game. I understand that they'd been making a lot of Sonic games and wanted to do something new, but this is again emblematic of Sega of Japan and Sega of America not being coordinated. Sonic the Hedgehog was one of the most popular characters on the planet and was Sega's official mascot and rivaled Mario in terms of popularity. So the fact that Sega did not have their best programmers working on a Sonic the Hedgehog game at launch of the Sega Saturn is a huge missed opportunity. But nevertheless, this game was developed by Traveler's Tales, a England-based company, with the help of Sonic Team from Japan. They helped here and there. And the end product is a very nice isometric, which means over-the-top 3D Sonic the Hedgehog game. And right now we're going to see a clip of my favorite level, Diamond Dust. And I actually listen to this level's music when I decorate for Christmas and I just want to get into a holiday mood. It is a fantastic-looking snow level. The gameplay of this game is a bit different from your typical Sonic the Hedgehog game in 2 dimensions, and even in 3 dimensions. Rather than speeding to your side as you would in a 2-dimensional Sonic game, or just kind of haphazardly running all over the place as in a 3D Sonic game, you have a open environment, but you have Sonic moving on a little bit more methodical pace here, as he needs to rescue the Flicky birds from the Sega arcade game Flicky, who have been now put into robot bodies by Dr. Robotnik or Dr. Eggman, depending on whatever you want to call him. But I love this level. It's very kind of warm, Christmassy atmosphere. Makes me really get into the holiday spirit. So without further ado, let's now start to play some Sonic 3D Blast for the Sega Saturn. We're going to play the first act of the first level here, and hopefully we can find Tails, and I'll show you the special stage. So we'll start. This game does have some loading times, which are nothing too terrible, but are not present in the Sega Genesis version of this game, which you can easily find if you buy an At Games Sega Genesis at either a Walmart or a Rite Aid or a Walgreens. The pitching on the music might be a little off, but nothing too bad. And you will get to see the Genesis version of that game pretty easily. Or you could just try to track down the Genesis cartridge. Sonic does control pretty well. He does control well. He doesn't control badly. But it is a different feel for how to control Sonic here. So if I go here, I get an extra life. Boing. You can get a shield. Now, the way you rescue the Flickies is you literally have to track down all of the so-called badniks. And then once you do that, you hop on them. The Flicky pops out of them. The Flickies will follow you, and you will find a magic ring. As soon as I knock this guy here, hang on. To deposit the Flickies in, and you have a little counter at the bottom of the screen to tell you how many Flickies in the area you have rescued. And once all those robots turn into Flickies, you are able to move on to the next part of the stage here. So here's our ring. Oop. Man, there we go. One more to find. Let's get a shield here. Very nice, soothing music playing here. Woo! There's my shield. Again, Sonic is a 3D modeled sprite here. So it's basically you're using 2D sprite-based technology in a 3D environment to get a very highly detailed picture, as opposed to doing straight polygonal graphics, which really kind of became the norm at the time. Now, I have 68 rings, so I have to be careful here, because if I can find Tails, we can go to the special stage here. But if I lose those rings, I won't have the 50 rings necessary to get to the special stage. So I just gotta kind of be careful here to find Tails. He's hiding out down here. Yep, there he is. So now Tails will fly me to the special stage, which was made by Sonic Team exclusive to the Sega Saturn. And for those who say that Sega Saturn cannot do polygonal 3D graphics, well, I ask you just sit back and watch this special stage. So now, the Sonic X Treme that is being developed right now by a fan uses this Sonic model as opposed to a 3D sprite-based one, which is what the actual developers of Sonic Team and Sega of America at the Sega Technical Institute were using. So you basically have to get a set amount of rings before the checkpoint. This game features 7 levels and a final boss. Sonic giving us his sassy stare. This game is very fun to play. Just be careful not to hit those spikes. Obviously, these will get more challenging as they go along. And we now have our Chaos Emerald. Gimme, gimme, gimme. You can find some samples of the Sonic the Hedgehog manga on YouTube and here and there online. It is hilarious. Sonic is a nerdy hedgehog named Nicky, and he's afraid of a lot of things. But like the Incredible Hulk, when his adrenaline pumps, he blacks out and turns into Sonic the Hedgehog and fights the evil Dr. Eggman, who is posing as the town dog catcher. It's just as good as it sounds, and it is where Amy the Hedgehog made her first appearance. So check out the Sonic the Hedgehog manga that came out in the early 90s in Japan. It is fantastic. So let's finish this level off, finish this act off, and then it'll be the end of this review. So if I wanted to, I could go next to Tails and deposit more rings in, and that would kind of be put in a bank that once it reached 50, I would go to the special stage again. So now I believe I'm going to have to go, yep, we got to go back to the next section of the level here. Now the ring is gone. So we have to get 4 more flickies to beat this level here. So let's just be careful here. There's a little booby trap. B is our spin dash button. That again is a little bit different than holding down and hitting any button, because A and C are your jump buttons here. And if we got enough flickies, we would get that extra Sonic life, but we just don't have enough right here. This is going to be our checkpoint to get us out of this part of the level here. So, So we get an invincibility box here. I'm going to go deposit my 1 ring next to Tails there. Alright, we gotta find 1 more flicky before we can get out of here. So, rather than speeding through the levels like in traditional 2D Sonic games, this requires a lot more methodical exploration of these isometric 3D levels, which is nice. I personally prefer the 2D Sonic gameplay style, but I definitely like this game quite a bit. I mean, it might say something that I've only beaten this game a couple of times, and I've beaten Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles and Sonic 2 and Sonic CD more times than I can count. But I don't want to undersell how good this game actually is, because it is a very good game. One more flicky. Where are you? Show me where you are. Man, this music is very well composed. I bet he's around here. Yep, there he is. Get some Sonic shoes. Whee! And that, my friends, is the first act of Sonic 3D Blast for the Sega Saturn. Okay, so there you have it. It's I think a nice sample of gameplay, a little bit of background about the game, and some analysis. So that is Sonic 3D Blast for the Sega Saturn. I highly recommend getting this game if you like Sega Saturn, if you like 3D Sonic games, and if you want to try something different in terms of how you're used to playing Sonic. All those would be great reasons to pick up this game. Until next time, guys, my name is Noel. You take care. I will see you later. Bye-bye.